Crypto is a market of many losers and a few winners. This is true for the people participating in the market. It's also true for the assets within the market. What we see over here is an overview of meme coins and the performance in the last 30 days. There was only one meme coin that almost doubled, the rest lost. And that single meme coin that almost doubled is SPX6900. Now, will the token continue to be the lonely winner at the top? We try to answer this in this video by looking at various data points, by trying to figure out what's currently driving the price. Who's buying here? Who's selling here? How solid and sustainable is the demand? Now, I have published multiple videos on SPX6900 before on this channel. The very first video came out 258 days ago, and since then many things have changed. Of course, the camera and the lighting, but also the website. Have a look at this. This comes from the website from the very first video. There was a link to Twitter and to CoinGecko and CoinMarketCap. That has all disappeared. Now we've only got Telegram, SoundCloud, Spotify, Reddit. The overall design hasn't changed much though. The reason why the link to Twitter got removed is because the account got suspended for whatever reason. Still, the asset was able to perform massively. That first video was published when we were at 11 cents. And here we are today. We had a little bit of volatility in the meantime, but we are now at $1.57. So feel free to subscribe over here. I publish videos on various meme coins regularly on this channel on the assets that still have some upside potential. Now today, SPX6900 is the third largest trending token on the Ethereum chain. Only Ethereum itself and Pepe is larger. SPX6900 has a liquidity of more than 20 million on the chain. And now this chart obviously begs the question, are we going to see a double top? Are people yet again selling at $1.50? Because in the past we saw a drop of more than 80%. That potential double top that we see in the US dollar chart cannot be seen in the wrapped Ethereum chart. So actually, when we look at SPX6900 relative to wrapped Ethereum, which is the more accurate chart, we've already broken through that resistance. The token is traded versus wrapped Ethereum, so this is how the price gets determined. If wrapped Ethereum goes up by 10%, then automatically, without a single trade ever having happened, SPX6900 also goes up by 10%. So the two assets are coupled via the liquidity pool. But then again, one could make the argument that we could be historically high. And so let's have a look at the on-chain metrics. Let's see what's going on with those 41,000 holders. Not all of those holders are created equal, right? Some of them might just own a few cents worth of the token, while others might own hundreds of thousands, maybe millions of the token. What we're seeing over here is the number of wallets that have at least 1,000 tokens on the left. So at the current price, that's a bit over $1,500, and there are 13,000 such wallets. So out of 41,000 holders, only 13,000 have at least 1,000 tokens. If we go another 10x, so 10,000 tokens, there's only 3,600 such wallets. Another 10x, so now 100,000 tokens, so that's now more than $150,000 worth of the token. There are only 720 such wallets. We see how the accumulation has stopped since February of this year. That's for small retail. It has already stopped at the end of November of last year for medium-sized retail. And the whales, they already stopped growing in numbers since the end of August 2023. But let's go even higher in the minimum holding. Let's look at 1 million tokens. So that's now $1.5 million worth of the token. We can see active selling since the middle of September of last year. Once we are at 10 million tokens, now we get into treasury holdings, we get into market maker holdings, we get into contract balances. We can probably ignore this chart and the last one as well. But it's interesting how the very heavyweights are selling off, while again the price is at an all-time high, especially versus wrapped Ethereum. How is that possible? How is it possible that we see that on the chain there are less and less holders, yet the price is outperforming? SPX6900 had been the best performing asset among the top 100 in the last year. This is how that looks like over time. Now there's a very interesting on-chain statistic. When we look at all of the wallets that have ever traded SPX SPX6900. How many of those wallets are currently in profit or have realized profit? Because again, we are now close to an all-time high, right? Is it 95%? Is it 90%? Is it maybe 85%? The answer is it's only 66%. So 34% lost with SPX6900 despite the price being that high. Isn't that fascinating, especially since SPX6900 is the one outperformer across all of those meme coins? It is truly a brutal player versus player game. There are a few players that make a lot of money and the vast majority of traders does not. Now let's have a look still. What's driving up the price? If currently the number of whales is going down, then why is the price so high? I think the answer can be found in the perpetual futures market. So there are now people that bet with leverage on the price. We have seen 29 million of trading volume on the spot market, but we have seen 157 million of trading volume on the bets on the price, on the perpetual futures market. And so really, let's compare those price peaks, right? We are at very similar levels in US dollars, but the open interest, so the amount of bets on the price, is way higher than it used to be. So there's now a lot of speculation with short-term capital on the price. Most of that money is betting on rising prices, so the longs have to pay the shorts in order to get more exposure to the asset, and the trading volume on the perps is ever increasing. So the reason why SPX6900 is going up is not because more retail investors are buying up the token. It's not because the investor base is growing. It's not because the whales are accumulating. It's because of short-term leverage on the perpetual futures. Now, why do I say short-term? Because everybody that uses perpetual futures has to pay very high financing costs, and one only does this with the intention to rather quickly again unwind the position. If you want to hold SPX6900 over the next years, you're just buying spot. If you want to bet on this very short term, you're buying the perpetual futures, because then getting in and out of the token is rather cheap, but holding long term is expensive. It's short-term leverage that's ballooning up the price that's making SPX6900 outperform everything else. It's not adoption. It's not like this is a cult meme coin that sees more and more purchases. Otherwise, we would see this in the on-chain data, which we don't. Now, some people might make the argument that all of this analysis doesn't help at all because markets are efficient. But I tend to disagree, because it's people that make markets efficient. There are clearly winners and losers in the game, and the winners tend to continue to win. So it's not just a game of luck, it's a game of luck and skill. And the nice thing about crypto is that we've got much more data in this market compared to other markets, because every transaction is publicly recorded on the blockchain. But very few people actually use that data properly. And that's in the end where winners and losers are born. People that don't look into the details enough, they tend to lose over time. That's the vast majority. Now, the charts that you've seen in this video come from a tool that I've developed myself on top of the Dune Analytics platform. It's part of the premium membership of this channel. There are two dashboards. There's a dashboard for Ethereum related blockchains. So those are the ones we can analyze. We can plug in any token into this tool, and then we can see how many large holders are there, how many small holders are there, how many new users enter a token, and how many buyers and sellers do we have over time. It's also always useful to look at the token ownership, right? Is a token mainly held just by the whales, by the people that have more than $100,000 worth of the token? If that's true, it's potentially, especially if that happened forever, a quite dangerous token. And so this is how I think about this fundamentally. The target with trading and with investing is to be better informed than the average, to be the person that makes the market efficient. If we are better skilled than the average person, then we should over time also make positive expected value bets. So that means that not every single trade will be positive, but on average we should make money. Again, because we can estimate the probabilities better. We can see the dangers and the potential upsides better. Now, I have made more than 100 tutorial videos on various topics within crypto. How to do on-chain analytics, how to build a Dune dashboard like we've just seen, but of course you also get access to the dashboard itself. Also about risk management, about how to properly use leverage, if that's your thing, all kinds of videos. Feel free to check them out. The newest video is this one, how to use perpetual futures and how to use the hyperliquid platform to beat others. The videos are posted on the website, but they're also posted directly in Telegram. And here's the feedback to that tutorial. Feel free to stop the video and read through this yourself. But of course, we also need to start somewhere. And so I'm personally, of course, sharing my own trades as well as I open them. Of course, I can't share the newest trades here on YouTube, but have a look at this. This is on March 3rd. I'm adding another short, Cardano, relative to the US dollar. And the explainer was in a premium update video. So I publish premium update videos every 3 to 4 days. I then added more exposure on the 11th of March and I then closed it on the 7th of April. So of course, not every trade works out that well, but Cardano went down relative to Bitcoin by 36% during that time. And so with this membership, I want to do both. Of course, I want to make it profitable very quickly. That's why I share my trades, but I also want that the vast majority, at least of the members, takes the time to learn as much as possible. That in the end, you might not even need the membership anymore. You can make your own profitable trades. Now have a look at this. This is where our members share their winning trades. If you use the right leverage, if you know how to do proper risk management as well, you can make hundreds of % in a single trade. It's all about being prepared and knowing the data better than most other market participants. So feel free to check it out. It's currently $125 US per month. The price has been reduced because currently the attention on crypto is still relatively low. Once Bitcoin hits new all-time highs again, then I might go back to the 165. But the 125 is locked in for everybody that signs up now. So when the price increases, when you're still subscribed, your price will not increase. If it's your first time here, feel free to subscribe. I publish videos regularly. A like would be very much appreciated as well. It helps the channel grow. See you next time on YouTube or see you in Premium. There's also a link to Premium directly here on the right. Just click on that. It will lead you directly to the website. So see you next time. Cheers.